Saka, Madueke, Odegaard. Arsenal injury latest and return dates before Man City afternoon scare. Arsenal take on Manchester City this Sunday in a huge Premier League title clash, and Mikel Arteta is set to go into the contest with some injury woes in his squad. Arsenal have several key players who are doubts ahead of their top-of-the-table clash with Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium this weekend. The Gunners have a 6-point lead over their nearest rivals, but Pep Guardiola's men have a game in hand on Mikel Arteta's side. Arsenal have suffered from a wobble in recent weeks, losing the Carabao Cup final, crashing out of the FA Cup and suffering defeat to Bournemouth in their most recent Premier League outing. However, victory over Sporting on aggregate keeps the Gunners' hopes of a European and domestic double alive. Nevertheless, with every additional game comes the risk of further injuries. That was the case on Wednesday night when Madueke limped off the pitch just after the hour mark, where he was replaced by youngster Max Daumann. Noni Madueke. Arsenal were dealt an injury blow during the clash with Sporting, with Noni Madueke forced off with a knee injury during the 0-0 draw at the Emirates Stadium. After the draw with Sporting, Arteta said, "I don't know, it was something in his knee, so we had to take him off." Bukayo Saka. England international Bukayo Saka also sat out of the game against Sporting and is dealing with an Achilles issue that has troubled him for a number of weeks. The England international was not named in the squad for the Champions League clash, having missed training on Tuesday. It is his progression, but hopefully it's going to be a matter of days and not weeks, Arteta said. But he has to see when he's loading more, how he responds to that kind of progression. Martin Odegaard. Martin Odegaard was also absent from the draw with Sporting, having picked up an issue during the first leg against the Portuguese outfit earlier this month. The Gunners' captain was not involved in training ahead of the Champions League clash. Ricardo Calafiori. Ricardo Calafiori was sat out of Arsenal defeat to Bournemouth after completing 90 minutes in the first leg against Sporting and did not recover in time to feature in the reverse fixture. The Italian defender has not played consecutive Premier League games since December, and his minutes are being managed. Jurrien Timber was also absent from training on Tuesday, and despite Mikel Arteta claiming one of the Dutch defender, or Saka, could be back in time to face Sporting, neither player featured. Timber's return was deemed more likely, with Saka a matter of days away. The defender could return this weekend at Manchester City. Mikel Merino. Mikel Merino has responded well to surgery and is pushing for a return to fitness, but his season is likely over. He's another one who is going to push every boundary, Arteta said ahead of the clash with Bournemouth. He's out of his boot now. He's doing quite a lot of exercises already. He's reacted really well to the surgery. He's got no pain. It's more for the medical staff to go a bit further on that. But I'm sure there is a chance to make that period shorter. If there is a person who can do it, I'm sure that's going to be Mikel again. Mikel Arteta has been handed a fresh injury concern, though Noni Madueke appeared to suffer a knee injury during the second half of Arsenal's clash against Sporting CP. Madueke went down requiring treatment midway through the second half, before it soon became clear he couldn't continue. Madueke was caught by the TV cameras limping off the pitch while being assisted by members of the Arsenal medical team. The winger was replaced by Max Daumann. And with a top-of-the-table clash against Manchester City coming up at the weekend, the last thing Mikel Arteta needed was another injury to contend with. Bukayo Saka and Jurrien Timber are yet to feature since the international break. And when asked for an update on the pair ahead of the game against Sporting, Arteta said, "Maybe one of them, let's see." On Saka's injury, the Gunners boss added, "It was something that he was carrying for a while. It was an Achilles issue." Martin Odegaard has also missed his side's last two matches after picking up a knee injury against Sporting in the first leg in Lisbon last week. But providing an update on his fitness in his column for the official club programme, the midfielder revealed, "I had to go off during the second half of that game in Portugal last week, feeling my knee, which is why I missed the game at the weekend. I caught it a little bit against Sporting, but hopefully it shouldn't be too bad. I'm desperate to get back as soon as possible, because this is the crucial period of the season, in the Premier League and Champions League. Odegaard also reflected on the win in Lisbon and the defeat to the Bournemouth. The Arsenal skipper said, "We have put ourselves in a great position in this tie after our win in Portugal last week, and we know exactly what we need to do tonight." Of course, Saturday's result here against Bournemouth was massively disappointing for everyone, so it's good that this game has come around so quickly to give us the opportunity to respond. Before he continued, "In football you quickly get the chance to put things right, and now we want to do it. You have to go through difficult moments in every season, so the important thing is to use that pain in a positive way to move on to the next one.